After smashing 2 past Villa in their first away game of the season, Arsenal have made it back-to-back wins. As Mikel Arteta's Gunners had a good evening at Villa Park, it was Leandro Trossard who stepped up and changed the game. So from a William Saliba masterclass to Arsenal's newest evolution, the Gabriel Martinelli dilemma and the breaking transfer developments. As per, let's break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 2. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14. Welcome back to your boys channel. And I know you guys are sensational because we've gone to Villa Park, we've got 3 points in the bank, and we've got a lot to break down. So as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy it and subscribe to the channel if you are new, helping your boy on his road to 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with the Arsenal saviour. This was always going to be a very intriguing game, and that's mainly because of the context pre-hand. You go back to last season, Villa were the only side to beat Arsenal twice, Unai Emery stopping Arsenal from winning a title. In both of those games, Arsenal created over 3 XG, yet didn't score a single time. Missing chance after chance and Villa capitalising, this game was a different story. As the XG shows, this time Arsenal were the ones that lost. Villa with 1.81 and Arsenal with 1.22. Ollie Watkins getting chance after chance and missing sitters. We're also a bit lucky, I'd say so, but you also have to focus on the masterclass in the Arsenal net. David Raya stepping up with a 7.6 rating with 3 massive saves and a 1.05 goals prevented, 21 accurate passes and 3 accurate long balls. And there's only one moment that we have to focus on. That save in that second half. What was almost certainly a goal, David Raya had a different idea. Not only saving the chance from Watkins, but notice Leon Belly ready to pounce. Instinctively, Raya was able to parry the ball away, given the official player of the match after the game, and deservedly so. That save itself was years in the making. The amount of times you see goalkeeping training videos, not only are they asked to make the first save, but it's all about how quick you can get back up on your feet, respond and make the next save. Under Arsenal goalkeeping coach Inaki Raya has changed as a goalkeeper. Of his own words, he's become far more proactive, and having recently been named the PFA Goalkeeper of the Year, the last 2 games he has been so vital. A clutch save in the first game against Wolves, to saving Arsenal in this game once again. Once described by Jurgen Klopp as a playmaker playing in goal, his calmness on the ball and ability in the build-up phase can't be looked past. How comfortable he is in playing such a unique role, moving into left centre-back in the build-up phase, despite being short for a goalkeeper at 5'11". Raya has the presence of a 6'5" one. In a game of former Arsenal goalkeeper Emi Martinez found himself on the floor, David Raya was all smiles. For Arsenal to win a title this year, they're going to need more moments. Players to step up when it matters most. This was a world-class David Raya moment. The fact that he was in a PFA team of the year can't be looked past, by the way. Voted by the rest of the players in the league, it's a sign of how much he's respected by other goalkeepers. They see him as one of the very best, and he's a massive part of this stat here. During their last 10 away matches, Arsenal have not trailed at any point. It's the first time that's ever happened in club history. Moving on to the second thing, a team of men. Where once upon a time Arsenal were known for struggling in away games, in the latter days of Arsene Wenger barely winning any. In 2024, let's just say we are the away team in the league. With this being our 10th away game in 2024, we have won 9 and only drawn 1, lost 0, with 30 goals scored and 3 conceded. Just deep that for a second, because in that you've got Old Trafford away, the Etihad, White Hart Lane and Villa Park, not to mention tricky grounds at the Amex as well. To have only conceded 3 away goals, 2 been basic mistakes against Spurs, it's a sign this team does not get bullied. Summed up perfectly by Benny Blanco, Benjamin White. In the first half, Saliba nicked the ball off Watkins. In came Hardman McGinn trying to smash the ball at him. There was Ben White to get his revenge straight away, instinctively smashing the ball back at McGinn. As Martin Odegaard said perfectly in Ben White's contract announcement last season, he's always there when you need him in a fight. Forget about your smiles and your nutmegs in training. Forget about your small playmakers that can get bullied. In 2024, Arsenal are the bullies, and the biggest one we have is William Saliba, bullying Ollie Watkins into his pocket. As Mikel Arteta once said, a defender has to love defending, and that's exactly what we saw after this clutch Saliba tackle. Jacob Ramsey was in, but Saliba cut him off. From Ben White's face to David Raya, party celebrating in the background and Saliba too, it's almost as if we had scored a goal. But William Saliba himself, oh my god, what else can I even say at this point? Dropping a 7.5 rating with 4 clearances, 1 interception and 5 tackles. 7 out of 11 ground balls won and a 99% passing accuracy. In a world where the word aura gets thrown around from everyone, William Saliba is one of the few that actually deserves it. Never fazed by any pressure, always able to play out. Insane 1v1 levels of defending, to the point it took Watkins over 20 minutes to get his first touch, to dropping 2 Villa players in 1 single action. His pass map was a definition of perfection. Slowing the game down when needed to, invite the Villa press and then pick them apart. He was of course signed under the regime of Unai Emery, but credit must go to the Arsenal scouts instead. The main one being Ty Gooden, who was scouting Saliba during his time at Saint Etienne, where he was also a fan of Wesley Fofana. But as he watched Saliba continue to excel in the first team, he was convinced that Arsenal could not waste any more time, asking Arsenal to send their head scout Peter Clark But after watching him in a 3-0 victory against Bordeaux, said he's very classy and elegant. I particularly like the way he had deceptive body movements and dummy movements while in possession. A formidable opponent to beat in 1v1 situations. Showed authority and communication. Doesn't shirk physical battles. His overall verdict was, this is the best centre-back I have seen for years. Dropping £30 million back in 2019, now it looks like an absolute bargain. But moving on to the third thing, Arsenal's moment provider. In a game that we saw a bit of a different game plan from Mikel Arteta, despite Arsenal having 60% possession, entering the final had 50 times with the expected threat of 3, ended the game with a whopping 63% field tilt, Aston Villa actually had the better chances. For most of the game, Arsenal trying to slow the game down, the idea of Arteta trying to instill control. Despite Emery's teams thriving in the chaos, the second half was cagey. Villa had some massive moments, with our first shot in the second half coming in the 67th minute. Funny enough, it was actually the goal. Leandro Trossard off the bench, our sleepy king, dropping a 7.2 rating in 25 minutes with 1 goal scored, alongside 4 successful passes and 1 ground ball won, scoring his 13th non-penalty goal since the start of last season, which was the same as Cole Palmer. That despite starting 12 less games, imagine this guy actually got 8 hours of sleep. A ruthless, instinctive finish into the back of the net. Trossard is the only player in our squad that can finish like that. But can we talk about his celebration? Nonchalantly walking away, barely even breaking a smile. This may have been a message to Mikel Arteta, having not started any of the Arsenal opening games, despite thriving at the end of last year and having a strong pre-season. Maybe it's him telling Mikel Arteta to start him. As Mikel says himself, we had to change the momentum of the game. For 10 or 12 minutes we had suffered in the second half and we had to change something. Leo has got the ability to change the game. His end product is unbelievable. He had 2 shots and 2 great balls in the box. He could have had another goal or 2. That is what you need when there's not enough from the start. There's someone that has to come in and do the job. The phrase moment provider is often something that Arsenal fans don't think they have. In a very young side with so many players that are still up and coming, Trossard is an experienced player that's turned up time and time again, scoring the most amount of game state changing goals last season. His technical quality is up there with the very best. Thriving in tight spaces with effortless touches, slowly but surely he's becoming our go-to moment provider, alongside a certain Bukayo Saka. In a game where he dropped a 7.7 rating with 1 assist, with 22 accurate passes and 7 ground balls won. Not at his elite best, but still able to provide game-changing moments. He's now been involved in all 4 of Arsenal's goals this season. An assist in the first game followed by a goal. It was his cutback for the Trossard goal, followed by an assist for Thomas Partey. He is now one of only 4 players to have won 100 league games before turning 23, alongside Fabregas, Rooney and Foden. Let's not forget he came through as a left back when Arsenal fighting in 8th place. Now he's undisputably one of the best right wingers of world football. I'm not sure if it's just me, but Saka right now is giving me a different energy, taking far more control of games and playing with more arrogance, demanding the ball and trying to make things happen. You go back to the goal last week against Wolves, where often you have players that wait for space to open up. I loved how Saka was able to make the space himself, provide a moment of brilliance to seal the game. I think what we're seeing now is a player that knows he's that guy, and he's starting to play like him as well. Moving on to the 4th thing, the Timber effect. Having only made 1 start prior to this game, and that being against Nottingham Forest. The breaking news before the game was a returning Jurrien Timber, starting his first league game in over a year, with Zinchenko dropped to the bench. Playing as an inverted fullback is one thing, but then it's doing it to a standard. Timber's heat map is that of a complete midfielder, even at times drifting over to the right hand side, winning 2 of his 3 ground balls and completing 32 accurate passes. The standout thing for me was his off the ball movement, slight little movements in between the lines, finding himself in space to demand the ball, helping Arsenal break the lines time and time again. A major hurdle for Arsenal last year was playing up against the mid blocks, but fast forward this season against the first 2 teams, Wolves and Villa both playing that, Arsenal are finding better solutions. Not only are players braver in between the lines, but Timber himself is very assertive, able to demand the ball and then go and make things happen, never fazed by any sort of pressure. I love the fact that he's so free roaming, not scared to walk over to the right hand side and make things happen there, then knowing exactly when to release the ball. He's a player that takes care of the ball every time he has it. There's always an idea behind his passes, and the real question you need to ask yourself was, where was Leon Bailey? A player that caused Arsenal so many issues last year, yet nowhere to be seen in this game, because he was hiding in Timber's pocket. Let's talk about the performance of Ricardo Calafiori though. Coming off the bench with only 11 minutes left, dropping a 6.7 rating with 1 interception and 4 accurate passes, you can see straight away his enthusiasm. Jumping in the challenges to win the ball back, he provides Arsenal a level of aggression that we need, especially in those big games against those top elite wingers. Having a 6'3" player that's comfortable on the ball, but also able to body you out of the way, is going to be a very useful tool. He also must realise the competition. When you've got an in-form returning Jurrien Timber, Zinchenko that's also been fine in certain games, we're no longer at this stage where new talents can just walk into our 11. You now have to earn your place. And in that 11 you also have a certain Thomas Partey, scoring the game-clinching goal in the 78th minute. His first for Arsenal since Bournemouth 2023, he dropped a 7.4 rating with 1 goal scored. 54 accurate passes with 2 accurate long balls. In possession he was definitely better, incisive as ever with his passing and breaking the lines, but off the ball he only won 2 out of 9 ground duels, making only 2 tackles and getting dribble past 3 times. Up against a very good player in Morgan Rogers, Partey was at times struggling. Likewise at times Declan Rice, but a deeper look into Partey's numbers are a bit worrying. As pointed out by my very good friend James B, Partey ranks in the bottom 23% of the league in terms of his dribblers tackled, tackling 50% of the dribblers that take him on. With all his injuries in the past, especially being muscular, I wonder if Partey is being conservative, scared to go into challenges and get injured. So with the recent news from Fabrizio Romano that Mikel Merino has completed his Arsenal medical as a new player, with the deal now being fully sealed, we are days away from the announcement, and then it becomes a question. Will Merino be thrown to the side, and what will happen to Declan Rice? Is it potentially a return to the number 6? Moving on to the 5th thing, the real deal. With 2 wins out of 2 to start the year and 0 goals conceded, also start the year finding themselves in 3rd. With the same amount of points as Liverpool, Brighton and City, our form in 2024 has been impeccable. With now 18 wins our first 20 games in the year, we have equalled the record of Liverpool 1982 and Man City of 2019 and 2021, reaching levels that even Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool couldn't. It's undeniable consistency. Mikel Arteta are building a team full of machines that are churning out wins week in week out, even when the performance isn't amazing. And what a day for Arsenal fans, by the way, where even our boy Emil Smith-Rowe was on the score sheet, scoring his first goal for Fulham, with former Arsenal boy Wilby scoring the other. You also had a Danny Welbeck dagger against Man United, followed by a good evening in Villa Park. There was no malfunction though at the Etihad, as the Robots in Manchester won 4 goals to 1 against Ipswich. A reminder of what we're up against, a serious side that we play in less than a month's time. All eyes return back to the transfer window, with only a few days left and the deadline being on Friday. The breaking news from Eddie Nketiah comes from David Ornstein, confirming the proposed move from Nottingham Forest has broken down. There was a deal in place between Arsenal and Forest up to £30 million, but the agreement could not be closed with a striker. A transfer is still expected to materialise elsewhere before the window ends. Despite Arsenal doing their part and agreeing a £30 million deal, Eddie could not agree to personal terms, causing a lot of Arsenal fans a lot of anger. We've got another update from David Ornstein, this time confirming interest from Crystal Palace, who are now considering a move for the player. As Fabrizio Romano says, Nketiah is open to joining Crystal Palace, but the deal will depend on the club-to-club agreement. Initial talks on personal terms are taking place, but there are more clubs that are keen. Nketiah is still fully expected to leave Arsenal on the final date. The interest is definitely positive and Nketiah still will leave Arsenal. But the recent news regarding Gabriel Jesus after missing the game against Aston Villa, Mikel confirmed after the game that unfortunately he felt something in his groin. We need to assess him and he will need an MRI. We will soon have the results and see if it's a matter of days or weeks. Fabrizio says that Arsenal have positive indications. The injury does not look too serious. More tests will soon follow, but Arsenal are confident Gabriel Jesus will be available soon again. The demand for a forward is definitely growing. Not only is Eddie on his way out, but we've also lost Emil Smith-Rowe. And as Fabrizio now confirms, we've also got a Fabio Vieira, here we go. As a deal has been done for the midfield to return to Porto on loan, there is no buy option, it's a straight loan, with Porto covering Fabio's wages. That's another player that can play as a forward that's leaving Arsenal. It's a great deal for the player himself so he can get first team minutes, and maybe a positive sign for Ethan Nwaneri too. How much Mikel Arteta trusts the player to be involved with the first team this season, but we are looking a little bit short as well. Confirmed by Mikel Arteta himself. We are a little bit short, and if we could do something, we would do it. We need good availability from everyone, as we don't have 23 outfield players, and normally you have to be equipped like that. My feeling is with the amount of forwards that Arsenal are letting go, it has to be with the idea that they're going to get someone in. So in terms of a reported Arsenal targeting Victor Gyökeres, he's been speaking on his future and he says you never know what happens. I feel very good at Sporting for sure, but in football there are things that you don't even know. Leaving the door open to a potential exit and then banging in a hat-trick in the following game, with another 8.8 rating to start the season with 9 goals and assists in just 4 appearances. But with the recent form of Kai Havertz still thriving as a striker, starting both games for Arsenal this season, I actually think we have to focus more on Gabriel Martinelli, who after dropping a 6.9 rating against Aston Villa, with only 1 out of 5 ground balls won, and numerous key chances wasted, he has left a few Arsenal fans very frustrated, urging to start Leandro Trossard instead. As Fabrizio Romano now confirms, there's a very good chance that Arsenal will now move for a winger. That is the video there and there though, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow a boy on all of the social medias, then the links are down in the description. But that was the 5 things we learned from Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 2. A good evening at Villa Park. Thank you very much, Unai Emery. But now Arsenal is down to you. So go and sign the right players and make a move for the deadline. So let's see what happens. And I'll see you next time. Take care. In a bit.